What's up, YouTube? Baseball Card Junkies TV, Tops 85401 here.
And Titanic Taters right here.
So we're back with another discussion video. And Eric, I'll let you talk about what we're going to talk about this afternoon.
I think we're just going to talk about how everybody has an opinion in this hobby.
Well, yeah, that's it.
I have an opinion. Nate has an opinion.
And all of you guys have all your own opinions.
Yep. And how some of them can be different.
Some of them can be different.
And that's okay.
You know what? You got to have diversity in the hobby to make it fun. If we all had the same opinion, probably wouldn't be such a fun hobby. But yeah, and then also we wanted to say thank you to all of your guys' opinion. And we were talking about this earlier, but Eric and I were voted into the YouTube Hall of Fame for the sports card collecting community. And we're like, man, that's a lot of opinions that we're surprised that...
That gave us an honor that two people like us should never be allowed.
Yeah, we should. We were thinking we don't belong in any kind of Hall of Fame. But anyways, thank you everybody that your opinion is that we're YouTube Hall of Famers. So.
Yes, thank you.
That was kind of funny when
we
Eric and I were
appreciate
talking
all
about
of everybody that subscribes and watches the videos.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if you're not subscribed and you watch the videos, we appreciate you and are happy to have you be a part of our Baseball Card Junkies TV family.
Yes.
So
what got us thinking about this? Of course, we were at Taco Bell.
Yes.
And we were talking about like all the graded cards situation and everybody's opinion on that, and different people's opinions on different card companies and different graded cards. And we just came to the conclusion that there really isn't a right opinion, but boy, there are a lot of them. My personal opinion is I'm just glad I don't chase after graded cards for the most part. However, I can definitely see why people enjoy graded cards. There are a few exceptions to the rule for me, in my opinion, about graded cards, and that is some of those old vintage rookie cards, like that Willie Mays I picked up at the National, wanted to get that one graded. And I do like SGC for the older stuff. Anyways, I'm just ranting on about my opinion on graded cards. But what are your thoughts?
I mean, my opinion is... I'm a little all over the place with graded cards.
Yeah.
You know, I think for me, having specific key cards graded is like a cool thing to have. You know, like the 85 Topps McGuire and the 85 Tiffany McGuire. You know, those key rookie cards. It's cool to have a high grade. As far as modern stuff, I mean, there's so many PSA 10s and PSA 9s and BGS 9.5s out there that I think it kind of waters down the value of that high of a grade. So it's not that important to me. But when you go back to vintage, I can definitely see where the allure for wanting to have everything graded is. Because you have the authentic, it's already authenticated. You don't have to worry about being fake. And, you know, I certainly understand, you know, all the, I guess, drama that's been going on.
Yeah, the Slabgate, like take Slabgate out of the picture. And for the most part, you know that the card hasn't been altered and that it's authentic. That's the whole... I mean, it is kind of scary buying graded or vintage cards if you're not a super expert. Eric and I, by all means, we are not graded
experts.
Vintage card experts.
But I'm also the type of person with my vintage cards, like, I don't mind like slightly fuzzy corners or... You know, like I kind of feel like it adds to the story of the card.
I know, I'm the same way. I can agree.
Of the card. So to me, buying a PSA 2 that looks good, you know, is perfectly fine to add that to my hobby or to my PC. I don't need a PSA 8 or a PSA 9.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, that being said, you know, a PSA 10 Hank Aaron rookie, that should probably raise some eyebrows as far as what the heck's going on here.
I know.
There's no way that thing survives 70 years or 60 years or whatever in that pristine condition.
It's tough. I don't know. That thing would have to be like in the like someone's drawer for 60 years and they forgot about it. That's how those cards survive in that condition.
Yeah.
And we were also talking about, it was funny, Eric and I were having a conversation about the modern cards where there's like a rainbow of autographs, where there's like a version to 25 and a version to 10 and a version of 5 and then the 1-of-1 autographs. And
well, no, don't forget the number to 99.
Yeah, the number to 99. Maybe there's one number to 75. So, I mean, in my opinion, this is just an opinion, but for me, I just want one autograph of Barry Bonds, even if there's 10 autographed parallel versions of that card, because in my opinion, the one autograph, whatever color parallel you happen to pick up, really everything else, it's the same card, just different foil variation borders.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather, if I'm going to spend $150, $200 on one autograph card, my next $200 purchase, I want it to be a completely different photograph from a completely different product.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I basically feel the same way for the autographs. I will try to either A, get the one that most closely matches the team colors.
Ah, yeah, like for green and gold. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or black or something like that.
Yeah, so like for me, orange and black on the...
B, the lowest number that I can get.
Either or.
That I can
There
afford,
you go. Yeah,
right?
or the most affordable option.
Yes.
I mean, there's all different ways of looking at it. So guys, comment down below. Let us know your opinion on graded cards, on autographed parallel cards, or the hobby. I mean, there's so many different avenues that you could take in this hobby. There's so many different opinions on any avenue that you decide to take. But all that diversity, all the different opinions, that's what makes the hobby fun. And as hobbyists, as collectors, we need to embrace other people's opinions, other people's ideas. Sometimes it's even fun to consider collecting the way other people do just because they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And maybe explore different ways of collecting. But this hobby's awesome, and it's just such a vast hobby. It's fun with all the different ways you collect, the different opinions that us collectors have. And
we were also kind of talking, I don't know if you were trying to end it there.
No, we can keep going.
We were also kind of talking about, there's a couple, eBayers that are well known in the hobby as far as scooping up 90s inserts and putting them on eBay at outlandish prices.
And those cards are going to stay stagnant for a long time.
I've heard the opinion that that's actually good for the hobby, that they're trying to like create this market for these cards that doesn't exist, right? Or the market doesn't exist, it does exist, but they're trying to set their own price for what they feel that market should be at. Whereas personally, I actually think that's bad for the hobby, because it does create, those cards are going to be now stagnant. Nobody's going to buy those cards.
Yeah.
The people that want to buy them or have the money to buy them know what they should sell for.
Yeah.
Right? So you're never going to see any upward.
Yeah, I mean, it's either market manipulation. If the seller, like, let's say there's a card from the 90s that typically sells for $500 and $1,000,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a seller out there that has that same card listed for, let's say, $4,000,
Mm-hmm.
and they have it up on eBay for 2 or 3 months, and then they decide to put it on sale and put that $4,000 card half off for $2,000, and even at half off, it's selling for double of what the top of the market. My opinion is it's market manipulation. It's not good for the hobby. I guess there are some people that think it is good for the hobby.
Yeah, it's not. It's not at all. I don't think it is.
I don't either. But I guess the point is somebody has a different opinion than both Eric and myself. Anyways, what other subjects do you want to tackle tonight while we're here?
How the opinion that Barry Bonds or that Hank Aaron is still the all-time home run king.
Believe it or not, and I know a lot of people are watching this, think that's... Or have that opinion,
you
but
could even go far as back and say there are people that still think Babe Ruth is the all-time.
There are people, Yep, and I mean, you just got to look at the back of the baseball cards. I mean,
Or
who
the
really is the home run king?
baseball almanac.
A baseball
Go
almanac.
to baseball
yeah.
reference or MLB.com, search all-time active lead or all-time leaders, and whoever's at the top is the all-time home run king.
You know what's interesting? Had Bonds played in a liver ballpark and had he not got blackballed from baseball, he could have potentially hit 900 home runs. That's my opinion.
If he had played in Colorado.
Imagine if Bonds had played in Colorado and he could have played for 1 or 2 more years, how many home runs he would have hit in his career. A lot more than 762. That's for damn shizzle.
Yeah.
So even though he's the home run king, and yes, he used PEDs, and the PEDs most likely, and I believe that the PEDs did allow him to stay healthy and play long enough to break the all-time home run record. But there are a lot of things that happened that easily could have prevented Bonds from breaking the home run record. 1, the ballpark. 2, the fact that he was blacklisted. And 3, the fact that nobody pitched to him.
Yeah.
And with all those things, with all those obstacles, he still broke the home run record. So, yes, he got a little bit of help, but he had a lot more obstacles too. He's a home run king.
Period.
Yep.
What
other opinions
just like
are out
Pete
there?
Rose is the all-time hit king.
Yeah, well,
You
of
know.
course Pete Rose is the all-time hit king. And that cracks me up when people say, well, if Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame, Bonds can't be in the Hall of Fame. And I always say the writers don't have the option to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. So that argument, in my opinion, is irrelevant. It is there's no relevancy, in my opinion,
It's funny
to that argument.
This is like on a tangent, but I was talking to somebody about Barry Bonds specifically being the home run king, right?
Yeah.
And they said, oh, Hank Aaron is still the all-time home run king. And I said, you've either been living in a box or you're just in denial, because Barry Bonds is the all-time home run king.
Yeah,
And
the last time I looked,
all-time home runs, 762 or whatever the number is. All-time hits, 4,100 and something or other. And I said, one of these people is actually allowed to be voted into the Hall of Fame. The other is not.
Yeah, doesn't even qualify.
So,
that's interesting about that kind of stuff. But also, what is a rookie card? There's a lot of opinions on that. We're not going to get into that on this video.
What is a rookie card?
Well, a lot of people like to say the first card that a player appears in in a major league uniform that they were drafted in, and that's typically like their first Bowman card. A lot of people say the first card that is printed after their major league debut that has the rookie card logo.
I like the first pack issued card.
Well, the thing is, like,
from a licensed product. Right?
Yeah, but sometimes that could be like a USA uniform. There are a lot of players.
It's not a licensed product.
Yeah, I mean, see, here we go.
Yeah.
There's different opinions. But like, for example, Bryce Harper, he's got tons of stuff when he was in the USA uniform.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think going back to 2007, but his first card when he was in a Nationals uniform was, I think it was 2010, and his rookie card's 2012. So,
who knows?
what do you call his rookie card? Same with Mike Trout. Like, I think he had like a 2009 Bowman Chrome, or was it 2008? I can't remember.
2009, I think.
Yeah, and then of course his 2011 update card is kind of the standard in the hobby for a rookie card.
In a Angels uniform, like there's no logos on that card.
I don't know.
I'd have to. Right. Anyway,
I bet you there were.
It was like that Bowman draft or something.
Yeah, it was a Bowman draft.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cards like that out there. But yeah, so guys, I love this subject. I love that there's so many different opinions and different collectors out there. It's what makes the hobby fun. It certainly makes for a good discussion. And there's nothing wrong with a heated discussion. There's nothing wrong with a debate. But I would say, as a hobbyist, as a hobby enthusiast, always try to respect other people's opinions, even if you don't share them. That's kind of a good way to navigate the hobby and to be able to enjoy the hobby with your fellow collectors. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I think it definitely is good to have, you know, like we said, everybody's going to have their own opinion. I think friendly debates are good.
They're fun too.
It like kind of stokes the, you know, the conversation or thought. I think if you're going to have a debate, that the two people need to be able to like look and see, okay, well maybe that person has a point, right? You have to be able to think like, okay, well maybe that could be a thing. I think friendly debates are good. I think, you know, anytime you start getting crazy about it,
don't get personal.
Don't get personal.
Yeah.
You know, Ken Griffey Jr. used steroids. Just deal with it.
Eric's always trying to stir the pot, though, with that one.
I'm our resident pot stirrer, I guess. But, yeah. You know. Anyway,
how about Albert Pujols?
Albert Pujols, you know, I don't know. It's like Ken Griffey Jr. You'll never know.
Well, we can have one heck of a debate.
So
I'm sure there are many opinions about
Pujols. I would
Pujols.
think that the fact that at the point that Pujols was in the majors, McGwire had already admitted that he used steroids, or was getting pretty close to doing so. I really doubt that he would have, you know, risked the career. However, I do think Pujols is at least 2 or 3 years older than he says he is.
Yeah.
But
yeah, who knows how old Pujols is.
He's like 50.
And my favorite set from the 80s is 83 Tops. And if you don't agree with me, then you're not a baseball card collector.
1980?
83 Tops from the 80s. 83 Tops.
No, definitely 1980.
Fight. No. All right, guys. So that's it for our discussion. Once again, Eric and I thank you. Though we may not agree. we jokingly say that. We're very honored to be in the YouTube Hall of Fame. And we cannot believe that there are so many people out there that thought of us enough to put our channel, Baseball Card Junkies TV, into the YouTube Hall of Fame. So thank you guys for that opinion. We appreciate it. And until next time, as always,
happy collecting!